Oh, are we on? Are we on? I
Hello,
feel like
hello.
dawdling old fool. It's a Groz with Gas. Your good friends online, joining you around the world on the mighty Puckett. I'm just gonna call it the mighty Puckett. I think.
I think the Mighty Puckett is good. The Mighty Puckett is how you get our podcast through the worldwide distribution network, so you can hear us say important things like, Gus, I think the M's are actually in a pennant race now. We're down to about 60 games, and they're 4 games out. They're in it, and you'd rather win the division than just make the wild card. So it's, I think, going to be. I am. I can't remember the last time I enjoyed Mariners baseball to this degree. And that doesn't mean I think they're going to win. Maybe they will. But I just love how they're playing. I love how they bounce back from struggles. I love the two rookies are in the lineup every day for a team that's winning and being successful. I thought great start against the Astros. You would love to sweat, but take 2 out of 3, chip a game off, and just keep it up, man.
Yeah, I mean it's been fun to watch. It was the Cal Raleigh show for the 2 weeks leading into this, or the 3 weeks leading into this, and coming out of it, it still is. And it kind of points up, though, I mean, the fact that, other guys have stepped up too. But, for those of you thinking you can get the same kind of offense from Cal Raleigh that you got the first half of the season, he's not going to fall off the face of the earth. But he's not going to be as productive as he was. It's just not going to happen. In fact, Gas, I think in his last 15 games or something, batting average fortunately doesn't matter anymore, but he's hitting about $125.
Mm-hmm.
He's hitting home runs, so he's doing that. And it was not that obvious because Randy Rosarina was doing his Cal Raleigh impression from 2 weeks earlier because he hit 10 home runs in 14 games as well. I mean, I think that I agree with you. This has been a fun team to watch. I think they're definitely in it. I'm not worried about their pitching at all. In fact, I think the pitching is getting better and better, like we thought it would. And I think it gives them a nice advantage over the next couple of months. They do got to make some moves though, and it's interesting that the guy that they're talking about the most, or maybe it's the guy we're talking about the most, his price tag is going up every single day, Gaz. I'm talking about our old friend, Mr. Suarez, who's now he has 35 home runs himself right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's a National League MVP candidate himself, and he's going to be available. He's a rent-a-player, but he's going to cost you a fortune. And I said today, I weighed in today with my own 2 cents to our fearless leader, Mr. Jerry DePoto. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Just do it.
Right.
Make our day. The impact that signing has now has been. It's like an earthquake. It's gone up exponentially. Guess the excitement in the locker room. I think they bring him back. The sense that what you're telling your team, and the excitement in this fan base justifies bringing him back, even if he doesn't get the job done for you. It is the right thing to do.
As long as you make a couple of moves, if you then don't get the job done, at least people won't be 54% you right back into the corner. They've got to do it. And again, the touch you get from well, you can't give up the whole system. Well, I don't want to give up the whole system, but you can give up a big chunk of it as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that the price could get too high. And again, Suarez, I mean, who saw this coming? I get it. We've been talking about it all year that he's a good guy for this team. And I mentioned it back in May, and somebody said, oh, check his WAR, check this. I'm like, how about we check 35 home runs, sprinkle them into the lineup, and see if they would do some good for the team here and there, with him. So yeah, they've simply, and the deadline's coming, and you can gamble and say, hey, it'll go down or it'll go up, but you've got to do something. You cannot on the day of the deadline go palms up and say we couldn't get a deal done. You can't go get like somebody no one's heard of. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I mean,
Right.
You've got to get a player that makes an impact. You mentioned great example from 95, Andy Bennis. Andy Bennis was okay with the M's in 95, but what he was a name everybody knew, and it fired up the entire clubhouse that they'd go get this guy. The M's got Castillo a couple of years ago, and look what that did.
Right.
You've
got
got
a
to
guy
do
The fans know him. I mean, they love him already. So it's such a smart move for the organization to make in terms of holding on to your fan base and propping them up. Just like you said, if they go out and get him and it doesn't happen, all right, you can't say they didn't try. Can't say they didn't make every effort. Can't say they didn't go after the best guy out there. They haven't done that in years, so it would behoove them, I think, to do it. Or if it's someone, it's not him exactly. If it's Naylor, if it's someone like you said, a name, a productive player, it's fine. But if you're the Mariners, what you got to do, you cannot. Getting back to what we started this on, you are in this pennant race. You got your best shot at getting to the World Series. I think you've had. Maybe since 2001, Gas. I mean, look at what's happened to the Yankees. The Yankees are floundering at this point. We thought they might dominate the league. They haven't. Baltimore was supposed to be the up-and-coming next power.
Yeah.
They're not this year. Detroit is. They're playing very well. But, Toronto is leading the American League East. I mean, it is wide open in the American League. This is your opportunity. Don't blow it like you've blown it in the past. Like your history tells you that you've done it over the years. Don't do what you did before. Make the moves.
And here's the thing about rental players. Sometimes they get to a place and they like everything. Not that they'll take a discount, but that maybe you're in on them for next year if you want to be. But I don't even worry about that.
I don't care about that, Gus. You're right.
You acquire a guy if he says, I'm staying here for 10 weeks and I'm gone, great. You stay till October and you can do whatever you want. It's kind of like... our old friend Softy, and I've talked to him about Kalen DeBoer, and I go, God, aren't you kind of pissed that he left? And he goes, it's hard to be mad at a guy who gets you to the championship game.
Right.
It would have been more fun if he'd stayed. He might wish he'd stayed eventually. But the point being, Vince Coleman. I don't know. I don't even remember the circumstances of Vince Coleman leaving, but he was a guy who really did contribute to that 95 team in a couple of big ways and came in. He didn't stay. I don't know. Granted, you could trade away a guy who can come back to get you, but they've done that before, and then all teams have done that. Everybody's done that.
One thing you haven't done that all teams have done too, just about, is go to a World Series.
Yeah.
So I mean, mortgage the future, fine, do it. I mean, but get there. Yeah. Don't blow this year. Don't blow this year because you've got something special going on this year. You've got some special. Julio, by the way, is doing Julio things, which is having a great second half, looking like the player that we know he is. I mean, he looks fine to me, man. He looks fine. Just in the last week or so, I understand, I'm not talking about the whole year. He looks really good to me right now. I mean, Rosarina is a guy I've always liked, Gas. He's a clutch playoff performer. I mean, you've got the elements in place, and let's just hope they do something with him.
Well, with Cole Young and Ben Williamson, as I mentioned earlier, you're doing this with a couple of rookies in the lineup who are, they're getting invaluable experience as young guys. It's just so much of it's good. And now, maybe these next 3 nights, we're seeing a World Series preview between the Seattle Pilots and the Seattle Mariners. Wouldn't that be something? Because the Brewers, it seems like the Mariners, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, isn't this about the 4th or 5th time this year they have run into the hottest team in baseball for a series? Every time I turn around, they're playing a team that's just won 15 out of 18 or something.
Well, it's 10 in a row for the Brewers.
Unbelievable.
Including the last 3 against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be a hell of a Super Bowl, a hell of a World Series preview. Let's have it be that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I want to clean up one thing from the All-Star game because I know you got to see it. I didn't. I was in my car listening to it. The end of the All-Star game, and they used a home run derby to end it, and the world survived. Everything's fine. I'll say, listening to it on the radio, what struck me, and I don't even know who the broadcaster was, but I'll give him credit. He admitted he didn't know everything about it. Rather than try and bullshit you, he just said, I got to be honest, and he goes, I don't think the players know, and he mildly criticized baseball for maybe not making sure this was out there enough, but he admitted on his own, said, I should. And so he and the analysts go, I don't know what's going to happen. They're wondering if they're going to be able to get anybody. How you said you thought it looked pretty cool on TV, right?
It was fantastic, man. It was fantastic because I think part of it was the unknown. What are they doing? What's going on here?
Right,
and,
yeah.
And then it's a home run derby, and the players were so into it, Gasaway.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. You saw them totally into it. The fans who were there were totally into it. It was great. It was a fun thing to do. I mean, I can understand not having it, immediately at your fingertips because it's not something that they want to have happen anymore. And Bud Selig famously, this is better than that. But Schwarber up there, you had every player rooting for him. It was very exciting. I thought it was terrific. They stumbled into it again. Baseball stumbled into a couple of good things, I think, in the past couple of years. And look, just for the All-Star game is what we're talking about here. But it was a great way to end it. It brought excitement to a game that was already pretty good. it was already pretty good. You had come back from a 5-0 deficit. The baseball All-Star game, Gas is miles away from everyone else now at this point. It's by far the best one of those games, and this added to it, in my opinion.
I saw people saying, well, now they're going to start doing it in regular season games. I don't think that necessarily means they'll do it in regular season games. I think what they've done in extra innings and regular season games has become fun to watch. It's added elements of strategy to the game. The purists are, not going to be happy until we go back to 8 teams in each league and every game played in the day.
They're all dying, Gas. They're all dying off. I mean,
the stuff is going to get changed. I think the All-Star Game is the perfect game to try and I'll call this a gimmick. That's what it was, and that's fine. It's an exhibition game. Do a gimmick. Do something kind of fun. You can tweak it, and who knows, maybe come up with all kinds of interesting things that you could try.
What's wrong with doing something entertaining?
That's right.
Why is that wrong? Why is there something wrong with that?
You are in show business, for Pete's sake. And I think what they do in the regular season now, at first I wasn't sure, but I like the runner on second. Do you bunt him over to third? Do you intentionally walk the first guy to set up an out? There's different elements and different things that a manager can try now, and for the fans it does. Look, the romance of sitting through an 18-inning game is held only by people who've never done it.
Right.
When you're there, it's like, God damn, is this thing ever going to end? I gotta go, man. So I like that, and I thought the All-Star thing. What I liked about it was, try a gimmick, use the robot umps, do whatever in the All-Star game, and if it works, then maybe consider. I hope they don't take this home run thing to go to the regular season and set up that way, but no, maybe they will.
One day,
who knows?
One day in the future, that'll be the way it goes because it was fun. People liked it, and there's nothing wrong with sometimes, Gas, when people like stuff, they watch it more often. Sometimes that's how it works.
I've heard that. You mentioned the Super Bowl earlier for the Mariners, and that would be something if they got into that. But the Seahawks, I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender this year, but everybody kind of goes to work this week. I'm not as geeked up about the start of training camps. It's kind of fun because you start thinking about it a little bit, but we're still 7 weeks away from anything meaningful in football, but those 7 weeks will zip by.
In 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, Pete Carroll will be here.
Oh.
With his Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, that's going to be interesting and fun, and that kind of got me thinking a lot about the Seahawks, which I normally, me. I mean, I'm Mr. Hate of preseason and all that stuff. But I really, when I'm looking at the Seahawks, Gas, I'm going to say it. I can really see a 92 scenario happening here.
Really? You think
I heard someone else talking about it. I heard Jason Puckett talking about it with Condota today, and it could. I mean, I like what they've done defensively. They've done some good stuff defensively. But when you look at what they're doing on offense, you're looking at Sam Darnold and what you think he is, or it goes a long way towards what you think they're going to be able to do this year. And I think I know what he is. I think he's been what he's shown in the past. You got a questionable offensive line, a new offensive coordinator who's putting in a system that's not necessarily it's to run the ball more, but doesn't necessarily fit the talents of the running back you have right now, who, by the way, is going down. I mean, in terms of yards per carry and everything like that. You've got. I mean, I love the Cooper Kupp. I'm not sure what he is anymore. I don't think they're better at wide receiver. I think they're gonna have a lot of trouble scoring this year. And they're basing their game plan around controlling the ball and running the football. I don't know if that's going to work for them. So I mean, I can see I can see a bad scenario for them. I don't want it, but it's what struck me, in actually taking a first long look at it is that, this is the year that it speaks more about me probably. This year could really go bad.
Yeah, and you found all the ways.
I'll take some of the blame for just thinking that way, but I mean, it starts with Darnold. I mean, it's we're not going to see him probably, right? I would imagine very little in the preseason.
Yeah, I wouldn't think there's no reason for him to play. I want the preseason to just go away. It's so boring and dull.
I should have a long time ago.
Yeah, but
there's no reason for it, Gas. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, and they know. I'll guarantee you right now, they know who their 53-man roster is going to be. There's going to be 2 or 3 surprises, but not much. And it's funny because you could go the other way with your scenario. You could go with all these new things. What if everything just clicks? But we know that in the NFL, that's not usually how it happens. New quarterback, new coordinator, new receiver who. If it was 3 years ago, maybe you'd be more excited. Man, look, I hope Kupp bounces back and has a great year. But it's hard to argue that they're stronger there. That's a great point that you make. Defensively, counting on a bunch of young guys continuing to get better, which does happen.
Well,
You know,
I think
maybe
defensively.
if they're good, maybe it's going to be a bunch of 10-9 games, the Pete Carroll specials.
Yeah, but you know what? When Pete Carroll was having those games, I mean, it was fun. It was because you're doing a lot of crazy stuff there, and I don't know. You got a young coaching staff. I mean, like you said, new coordinator already on offense. A lot of question marks in my mind going in there. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you're right. It's kicking off, and it's always exciting when it is. So, we'll see what goes on. But on the surface, I'm pessimistic going into the season.
And we will do. We'll drag out our favorite old chestnut a little bit later in August. The Groz will set the record straight. We'll go through every game, and you'll predict what will happen in minute detail as to what happens to our beloved Seabirds of Renton. A week ago, we're talking, and we were both very pessimistic that the NBA was going to do anything in a positive way towards Seattle. And our podcast hit the bionosphere, or whatever the hell it hits. And about an hour later, the NBA did kind of what we thought. Just said, well, we're going to form a committee. We're going to study it for a while, which is their way of saying we're not going to do anything for a while. We're kicking the can down the road. They're very interested in Europe. I understand why, and not to expand to an NBA team, but to put a league over there that the owners will help get off the ground. I thought the most interesting thing that came out was the NBA really showing its true colors, Dave, by firing a warning shot across Portland's bow. Everybody out here knows that the city of Seattle is rabid to get the Sonics back. We'd do anything to get the Sonics back. And hey, Portland, we know you're for sale, and we're going to need to see a new arena before that sale could go through. I mean, I thought it was bullshit at the highest level. You can say that behind the scenes if you want to. Say it publicly really shows that you don't give a damn about a city. Portland's just like Seattle. They're right here in the same exact region. They've supported the team forever. They've gotten them to a championship. They've built arenas, and now it's like, well, yeah, we're going to need another arena from you guys, or, we may not be able to find an owner that'll keep them there. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, it's believable to me because it's how these guys have been operating, and it's their business model sucks. Most teams aren't making money. This is why I think they love the European idea too. I mean, Gas. Lakers went for was it
10 billion?
10 billion, yeah. I mean,
10 billion.
So isn't that going to be what the cost is going to be for an expansion team then? I mean, are they nuts? Are they nuts?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they can get to that, but it'll be north of 6. 6 is what the Celtics went for, and now we'll see what the Blazers go for. If somebody wants to buy them and commit to building a new arena, what's that going to cost to do that? And there, again, there will always be another team up for sale, so there will always be a nice excuse for the NBA to say, no, we got to wait. We got to see what this one gets, so we make sure we get the most for an expansion team. So it's
terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
I'm starting to think we're not going to see it in our lifetime, which is,
not that long, but
dwindling rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about this. I mean, screw the NBA. I'm not interested in having them here anymore. I don't think the city should sell itself out for them. I don't think that should happen at all. And LA survived a long time without NFL football, and eventually the league understood and came back there. If they think they're better off without Seattle, then fuck them. Go ahead, do what you want to do, and feel you're better off without Seattle. Seattle's better off without you right now, in my opinion.
It's not as if there's a shortage of sports entertainment for the fans. You've got teams here. I mean, the Seahawks forever, the Mariners forever. Laugh at them if you will. They've been here forever, and they're rolling out the team every. The Sounders have been an unbelievable organization. The way they've launched into a new level. UW is right down the street. The Storm has no matter what happens, they're always good and always plenty of entertainment dollar options for you. And I miss the Sonics, but I'm kind of like you. The NBA is just they've really. They've just twisted the knife.
They've gutted us. Yeah. They've gutted us, and they left us sitting by the road.
Yeah,
entrails exposed, and expect us to still, want a team. I mean, I don't.
This could have been an in the news story, but it's just so ubiquitous. I thought of you this week. I spent more time on the New York Post page 6, or is that New York Daily News? I spent a lot of time reading the tabloids. Because there was a canoodling scandal, Groz, and there's nothing better than a good canoodling scandal. And it really, it's a guy named Andy Byron. Everybody knows this, right? Andy Byron and his human resources director, they get caught cuddling each other at a Coldplay concert on the concert cam, the kiss cam. I think this is, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at the unfortunate other, but I like the one person said, hey, you play stupid games, you'll win stupid prizes. And they won a stupid prize. I'm not embarrassed to say this. I'm really enjoying reading this. I don't know why. What does this say about me?
It says that you're a man of the present.
That's right.
You're a man who's living. You're a man who's living in the present. That's what people are doing nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's people are still screwing up, man.
Yeah. I don't want to go say in defense of them, but maybe in defense of them, I think what made this so funny to everybody is because I think 90% of us would react the same damn way if we were doing it. You can get on your high horse and say, I'd never do that to my wife, and maybe you wouldn't. I don't think I would. But the fact is, if you're there and you see yourself and you're like, oh shit! I mean, the way
backpedaling furiously, you're like a cartoon character on a barrel.
Oh my God, it was funny. Just why I think that's that the fact that she's an HR director, which again, I think that there was an irony to that beyond belief.
Yeah, you deny, man. You deny.
Right? I'm assuming you saw the Philly Fanatic skit.
No.
Have you seen? Look up Philly Fanatic canoodling, and it is. And that's when it all ended for me. It's like, all right, I don't need to see any more memes or any more funny things. You're not going to top the Philly Fanatic and what he did, so stop trying.
I love it.
He's setting the bar for comedy. All right, would you like an in the news story to wrap things up, Dave?
Been waiting for one, buddy.
And this is from a longtime listener and supporter of the show, Eugene Pack, who I've known since 6th grade in Indianapolis. So Eugene is he's doing the work for us, so we don't have to. Groz, we're going to Grand Teton National Park. I just spent the weekend in the North Cascades, and one of the things you do when you're in a national park is you keep your eyes and your ears open for wildlife because you don't want to startle them and you don't want them to startle you. Well, in the Grand Teton National Park, we've got a fox scandal, a fox that has stolen at least 32 pairs of shoes out of cabins.
Shoe-stealing fox?
He's a shoe-stealing fox, and wildlife experts aren't sure why the fox, and they say, or foxes, they think it might be more than one, have decided to start making off with shoes from the Lizard Creek campground. But they're telling visitors to Grand Teton, especially if you're camping at Lizard Creek, to stay at least 100 yards away from wildlife. And they said to keep the shoe-stealing fox from ending up in serious trouble, what they're asking people to do, if they see the shoe-stealing fox, is make loud noises to encourage it to go away. And my mother-in-law was a park ranger, so I feel like I can help her. And the loud noise you can make is, hey, you shoe-stealing fox, get the hell out of my cabin. Most foxes, they're going to run when they hear that.
That's perfect, man.
Your shoes are going to be okay, and more than that, you're going to be okay. So there you have it.
I'm glad the Gastineaus survived the wilderness all right.
Yeah, we barely. I took a fall. You'd have laughed your ass off if there was a gas cam. We were hiking and went back to a beautiful place a couple miles off a trail. Just really a fun trail. And then coming back, I just wasn't paying attention, and it was like somebody took a cane and jerked my legs out from under me, and I landed 100% on my right bony ass cheek that is so sore right now I can't even begin to tell you. Fortunately, I think everything else is okay. My back's a little wonky, but not bad. But man, my butt cheek is killing me, Groz. It's just killing me.
The perfect way to end the show.